Let's talk about Tua, why don't we? Because he had a massive jump from year 2 to year 3, in my opinion, and I want to talk about what that could mean going forward for the Miami Dolphins. Like, you look at his statistics, he was, not the best through 2 years, not terrible either. That was kind of the thing about him of, an 87 passer rating in 2020, a 90.1 passer rating in 2021, but then that shot up to 105.5 in 2022. He was a legitimate MVP candidate and, had a real chance at winning it before getting injured. So, had a great year. Again, the injuries are always going to be a factor. One of the things that we're just, until he shows that he can stay healthy for a bit, he's going to be 201 healthy, right? Because that's how you kind of have to view him. But like, even if you look at his PFF grades, you clearly see it's not just a box score statistic. People are going to say, oh yeah, sure, Tyreek Hill comes to town, Mike McDaniel comes to town, sure, now you all of a sudden are playing better. But according to PFF, it's not. At least it's not just that. There's more to it than just that. As you see, his grade went from 68.3 in 2021 to 81.9, a very impressive grade in 2022. But, those are just numbers. Does the tape back it up? Well, let's start off with this play. What's going to happen here is it's going to be a zone coverage play. You have a receiver who's going to run over the middle. This is the stuff that, it's straight out of the Shanahan offense, right, where Mike McDaniel is from, of, get play actions going, get linebackers to get out of position, throw over the top. Pretty simple stuff, something that every team does, but still something Tua is good at and was good at all year. You see on this play, Tua is going to take the snap and look down the field, and you see at this point, there's a linebacker who's staying deep and is in position to try and make a play. So while Tua would love to just continue and hit his receiver, in stride, that's not really an option right here. If he tries to do that, that's going to get intercepted. And these are the little things Tua did very well last year for Miami, is I thought that he did a lot of nice subtle things that allowed the offense to really work, and part of why you saw the offense look so much worse when even Bridgewater was out there, who's a fine backup. Watch how Tua is going to throw it across the sort of, kind of back towards the top of the screen as opposed to continue going towards the bottom of the screen. He read where the linebacker was, and Tua has one of the best understandings in football of understanding where the gaps in coverage are and hitting it in the biggest gap in coverage. Tua is so incredible at that, and he showed it right there. Also, something like this, what's going to happen on this play is it's going to be a man coverage play, and you're going to have a situation with, you have a receiver who's running a route over the middle. This is the route that can work. It's Jalen Waddle, who is, good. He's someone who you want to hit in this spot. Right when this play begins, you see that Tua, again, scans the field, eventually likes what he sees, but really, this throw is going to have to be very accurate. I mean, he has to time it well, and he has to get it over there in a hurry, right? Because you have a Cleveland player who can't play the ball. He's behind Waddle in a situation where he pretty much has to just run to try and keep up with Waddle. That's what the Cleveland player is doing. But as long as Tua can get it over that player while not putting too much air under it, still can be a completion. However, if he puts too much air under it, that could allow for a safety to come in and make a play. However, this throw is a thing of beauty from Tua, and that's really what Tua did last year, was he just consistently made plays. His consistency is what was key with Tua, and that's why I was really impressed with him this year, is because he went from someone who I think would still be relatively consistent, but would then have his, maybe rough games. I think that was fair to say, where he would have some games where he looked really good, and then he would have that Titans game where it wasn't all on him, but some of it was on him. He did not play well in that one. He had those kind of busts. This year, he didn't really have those, and he also made some really good throws, too. It wasn't just the game management stuff. Like, something like this is a good example where it's going to be it's Trent Sherfield who he's trying to throw it to now, who had a pretty good season, I thought, for the Dolphins. But anyways, it's zone coverage, quarters coverage, but the corner who's covering Sherfield on this play, not playing too far off, so there's still a potential for this for this play to be made. It's worth a look if you're Tua, worth looking over in that direction. Look at how Tua takes the snap. He is going to look over in that direction. And you see right here, again, is this open? Not really. There's maybe a window for you to make this throw, but it's going to have to be a perfect throw. But look at this throw, and also you're going to see an incredible catch on the other end. But Tua put that ball exactly where he wanted to put it. He put it in a spot where only his receiver could get it. It was going to be either incomplete or a touchdown. That's just pinpoint accuracy. You talk about a dime, right? That's the whole thing. It's like if there was a dime, up there, would you hit it? And he would have hit that dime. That's a perfect throw by Tua, and that's kind of what, allowed them to score a touchdown. And these were the things that we kind of got used to with Tua, was him consistently just making these plays. Again, something like this is another example, which, listen, a lot of these routes I showed are routes that are, in favorable situations. I think definitely the Dolphins did a great job at putting Tua in a situation to succeed, which is what they're supposed to do, right? Quarterbacks, especially young quarterbacks, kind of need that around them. They need to be in good positions to succeed, and that's what happened. I thought Tua was in a very good position to succeed, but he still has to then do the next part and be able to be successful, right? Every quarterback has games where you're going to be in a good situation, some more than others, but you have to still be able to do things well when you're in that situation. And I thought that's what Tua did last year, where, again, you see this route over the middle. Once it gets past the linebacker who's in charge of covering over the middle, it's a route that can definitely work, is a good angle. Watch as Tua takes the snap, he runs a play action, and you see right here, there is a window, but he has to wait just a bit. But I love how well-timed this is. Look, right when he gets past the linebacker, the throw is made. It's a beautiful throw that allows his receiver to make the catch and continue running down the field on top of it. These were the small things that don't seem that difficult, and I'm not saying that these are incredibly difficult things, but they're not incredibly easy either, and Tua was able to make them consistently. And consistency is often key when it comes to a quarterback, because a lot of times what you think about with a quarterback is, yes, there's guys like Jameis Winston who, had probably, you look at Winston's best game versus Tua's best game, Winston probably has the best game out of the mix, but he has so much negative that it's just hard to predict, and it's hard to win with a guy like that. I don't know why that's the first person I thought of. But it's more so just a main point about I'm trying to compliment Tua here by talking about how consistent he is, and how, again, it really felt like not even game in and game out, but throw in and throw out last year, he was doing a very good job, and he was not having these off days. And listen, you can still point to some rougher games, and you can still point to some higher highs, I thought. He definitely wasn't completely consistent game in and game out across the board, but he got a lot more consistent this year, and he had some really impressive days, I thought, and I think as a whole, consistency was a positive in his performance this season. I think the bigger concern with Tua is the injuries now. I mean, the guy's racked up a ton of injuries, which is unfortunate. He doesn't have the biggest frame, and he does take a decent amount of hits, so not a great combination, as that's something that's concerning. And I think the question is how, I think there's a very real question of, will Tua get back to what he was playing at? That's something that you do have to wonder. I think it's fair. But also, I think it's fair to say Tua has, when he was out there last year, he was really good and was a big reason why the Dolphins were successful. It wasn't just he was, a part of it. I mean, it kind of was. He was just a part of it, but he did a lot really well and a lot of underrated things that allowed the Dolphins to succeed. At least that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. What were your thoughts on Tua and his performance? Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.